June 6th, and before we go on, we have to remember what that day means. It's the anniversary of D-Day, the greatest invasion in history, when the Allies attacked the beaches of Normandy, France, sailing across the English Channel. It was the beginning of the end for the European front of the Second World War. It soon became a race who would go faster, who would reclaim territory faster. The Democratic Allies coming from Normandy, Canada, the United States, the UK, or the Red Army, Stalin's troops crushing in from the east. It became very important because where the two armies stopped is where the battle lines for the Cold War would end. But I think back to the D-Day landings and how they were young men, much younger than me, some of them teenagers, of course, willing to sail onto a beach under machine gun and heavier fire than that to attack and liberate countries. And I ask, how would they look at us today? The enormous sacrifices they made, the price that they paid, the freedoms they fought for. What would they say to us if they could see us now? I don't know if there's any veterans from that who are still alive. I doubt it. They'd be over 100. I wonder what they would make of us. That's June 6th. Let me tell you a story that ran today in June 6th. I saw it in Blacklock, which is one of the very few independent news outlets in Canada. Like us, they take no government money. This is the headline. It caught my eye. Government faked security bulletin. The Department of Public Safety issued a false security bulletin claiming it had confirmation Freedom Convoy protesters ransacked federal office buildings. Access to information records show, the story goes on, the Operations Center on the first day of Freedom Convoy protests outside Parliament Hill on January 28, 2022, issued the security bulletin at 3:54 p.m. Eastern. We have received confirmation that protesters have started to enter office buildings in the Ottawa downtown core and are allegedly causing damage, said the bulletin. As a result, Minto Place is going into weekend lockdown mode. All entrance doors will be locked, effective immediately. Oh, wow. So they've certainly taken that report seriously. But here's how Blacklock explains it. There was no incident involving protesters in office buildings. The Public Safety Department yesterday would not account for the source of the disinformation. So Blacklock's actually called up Public Safety and they refused to say who made it up. Departmental records earlier released through the Public Order Emergency Commission disclosed that staff sought to discredit protesters as violent, even if allegations were untrue. Quote, some of their more extreme comments, i.e. calling for a January 6th style insurrection, are getting more coverage in the media, staff wrote in a January 24, 2022 text. There could be an opportunity to get in on this growing narrative of the truckers. To get in on it, eh? That's what it's about. It's not about the truth. It's let's get this narrative going. It goes on. Let me show you that memo. I got a copy of this Blacklock's access to information request. It's their research, but I was so interested in it, I took a look at the document myself. Look at document number 137. This is the memo that was circulated. Update. We have received confirmation that protesters have started to enter office buildings in the Ottawa downtown core and are allegedly causing damage. As a result, Minto Place is going into weekend lockdown mode. All entrance doors will be locked effective immediately. The situation is being closely monitored as we are getting updates from various sources and will provide further updates as events unfold. Signed, Harry Gill, CPA, CMA, Acting Deputy Assistant Commissioner, and Agency Security Officer, Finance and Administration Branch, Canada Revenue Agency. Now, that was a pretty categorical statement by Harry Gill, now, wasn't it? It wasn't just an allegation or a rumor. The senior bureaucrat, Harry Gill, Deputy Acting Assistant Commissioner, whatever, he says that it was in fact confirmed. Various sources closely monitoring. Protesters are entering. They are causing damage. They're entering the buildings and causing damage. But then he throws the word allegedly in there, which is weird since he just said it was confirmed and was giving details and said multiple sources said it. He says Minto Place, which is a large building downtown, says they were in lockdown mode. This was sent to everyone in the regime. Here, take a look at these documents. Again, this is Blacklock's access to information request. Look at how many people Harry Gill emailed this lie to. Everyone got this report that was confirmed. So this wasn't an allegation or a rumor. It was confirmed. Take it from the big boss. Protesters were sacking the downtown court, except it was a wicked lie. But it was all the regime media needed to confirm their prejudices against the truckers. Let me read more from the Blacklock's report today. Records indicate several media corporations acted on advice that protesters were violent. The Canadian Parliamentary Press Gallery, in a February 1st, 2022 letter to the Commons Speaker, complained the demonstration was unsafe. Some of our members have been harassed by protesters of the truck convoy in the last few days, and we cannot afford to be left exposed without protection for hours outside the building, wrote Catherine Levant of the National Post, then Press Gallery president. Levant provided no examples. CBC TV assigned security guards to protect reporters assigned to cover the Freedom Convoy. Quote, at CBC, in order to go out, you need one-to-one security guards, reporter Judy Trin told the March 8, 2022 seminar at Carleton University. Your camera would have a security guard, and the reporter would have a security guard, and there weren't enough. Really? This was a real threat, said Trin. No Freedom Convoy demonstrator was ever charged with any misconduct involving a reporter. But they believe it in their hearts. Remember all the lies and the hoaxes? Remember the protesters were committing an arson in an apartment building? Total lie, total hoax. Now, that was a media lie. That was an activist lie. But this lie we're talking about today is from the heart of government, saying it was confirmed. That is pure disinformation. That was an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. I'm Ezra Levant. Every weekday, I do a monologue about the topic of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest either in studio or via Skype. And then I read your mail, whether it's fan mail or hate mail, which is sometimes even more interesting. This is on our premium service, though, called Rebel News Plus. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. It's $8 a month or less if you buy a whole year in advance. You get my show every weeknight, plus Sheila Gunn Reid's show every week. It's called The Gun Show. It's pretty amazing. You know, we rely on you because we do not take a dime from the government. In Canada, that makes us almost unique. So please help us out and help yourself to some great journalism at rebelnewsplus.com.